Welcome to the Massage Tools Podcast, your home for cool interviews and reviews.
All right, well, my name is Qiana Thompson, and I am the founder of Body Realm Center, which is an advanced massage therapy and movement clinic here in the Bay Area. And what we specialize in amongst like sports massage, orthopedic massage, myofascial therapy, what I like to tell people is that not only do we specialize in helping our clients achieve the results that they're looking for, but we believe that our secret to success is really the fact that we also educate them about their body so that they better understand how the body communicates and so that they themselves can better maintain and improve upon its performance. Because like a lot of, maybe like yourself and like a lot of other therapists, we don't necessarily want our clients to be solely reliant on us. We want them to be able to understand what it is that we really do. And how they can implement that into their lives. And that's just opened up a whole nother world in massage therapy for me, is coming to that understanding that not a lot of therapists even understand what can be done in the realm of massage therapy because it's so vast. And we've been kind of conditioned and trained to kind of focus on massage or to just view massage as this singular form of like relaxation. What we see in media is more spa-like. And so people don't see or understand what can happen when you mix massage and orthopedic and sports techniques, when you have a therapist who has multiple certifications, maybe in movement, personal training, is a chiropractor, all these other things, and then bringing all those modalities together to kind of help the client make sense of what the hell is going on with their body and why this hurts and why something that seemingly doesn't connect to something else has such a big impact. And so I feel like really a lot of our success as therapists as a whole is our ability to educate our clients in a way that just makes sense to them. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a beautiful sentiment. That first part of it where you're talking about that connection and not having them being reliant on us. I don't put it as beautifully you do. I tend to say to my clients, I'm like, I want to work on this as few sessions as possible. I'm going to get bored. And, in a jovial way, that's kind of my communication style. And my clients, they get it, they chuckle and whatnot. But yeah, that's so much the sentiment of what we're going after. So do you mind sharing kind of your origin story, for superhero vibe? Where did you go to school? And even before that, what made you decide to go into massage therapy?
Well, I was actually trying to go to school to become a physical therapist. I knew my route from a young age that I would be involved in healthcare in some way. I just didn't have a lot of experience or access to what was out there besides doctors and nurses until I had my first experience with death with my grandfather in the hospital. I'm now seeing respiratory therapists, physical therapists, and trying to figure out what do they do exactly and how does that differentiate itself from each other. And so I kind of got drawn towards physical therapy because of the sports aspect, and just kind of seeing what they did just made sense to me. And so I was a working student, so meaning I was going to junior college, working, going to school part-time. And once I sat down with my guidance counselor and mapped out my route to physical therapy, it ended up being a 10-year map. And I was like, yeah, let me rethink some things real quick. Because I was like, if I'm going to spend 10 years, I might as well just be a doctor. And at the time, this was, I was 19 in the year 2000. And so, back then, you're making good money at $60K a year as a PT in California. And I was like, is that really worth it? So I thought to myself, well, since I'm paying for everything, and honestly, when you pay for your own schooling, you look at things a little different. And so I was like, well, what else could I do that could get me a little closer, or my foot in the door, so I don't just have this retail job while I'm trying to make it. And massage therapy just seemed like such a natural fit. And mind you, I'm young, I'm 19. I really didn't have a lot of concepts of what some of the stereotypes were for massage. To me, I was like, it made a lot of sense. I feel great when I get a massage. Who doesn't like a massage? I could totally see how this relates to PT. And so I ended up going to the National Holistic Institute here in It was Emeryville. At the time, it was just one location, and it has grown a lot since it now has new owners. And there's, I don't even know, 6, 7, 8, 9 locations throughout California now. And so when I went to school, I, just like most massage therapists, thought like, I'll say, okay, cool. I'm going to become a massage therapist. I'm going to work, alongside a physical therapist. You know, dust my hands, that's it. And that's not how it goes. And so I kind of I was already leaning towards more of an orthopedic sports side of massage. And when I first entered the massage field, it was really hard to find a job in that field that's what I did. I didn't want to have to do salt scrubs and spa treatments. I didn't enjoy it. And so I didn't want to do that. And so it took me a couple of tries to finally find a job where I was working in a boutique gym. And they had a physical therapy department as part of the gym. And they also had a massage therapy department, which even till now is kind of unheard of for a gym. And that's where I kind of was able to plant my feet and really have a deeper understanding of what physical therapy did, because we were working with their clients. And that's when I just fell in love with the results part of massage. And to this day, that place still stands, and I still have some friends and contacts from that time in my life. It was probably or I can say it probably was the best job I've had so far.
What's a piece of advice that you give to new graduates or newly minted massage therapists that can actually start, day one? What's an easy low hanging fruit, or maybe a nugget that's not the obvious one that they can spend some time, honing or learning to be better at?
I mean, I think, for me, one of the things I wish someone had told me when I first came out of massage school is, I'm like, is that once you're certified as a massage therapist, I'm like, you have the basic foundation of knowledge to kind of move forward in your career. You do not have everything you think you need to have at all. And so one of the things that I had to drill home with a lot of these new grads was, I was like, there's no shortcut to experience. There's nothing I can verbally walk you through. I can't stand beside you and walk you through the experience of touch and how you learn through touch, because you have to be the one that touches the body to understand what I'm talking about when I say there's a different texture to certain areas when there's tension there, when something's stuck long versus contracted, when there's injury, when there's inflammation, when something's contraindicated, why you would work this area because that area is injured. And a lot of it, the success that I had, a lot of this was just the time that I had in the game and me just kind of seeing patterns and then kind of piecing it together. And then it wasn't until later when I started taking courses outside of massage that I was like, that's why it makes so much freaking sense. Why the hell didn't they just teach us that? And so what I've been seeing is that some of these massage schools, the school I went to will kind of create like a second tier to their education. And it's usually going to be something like, myofascial, neuromuscular related-ish. And I personally feel like that should have just been included in the general basic education of a massage therapist. I don't think there should be massage therapists out there that don't have that knowledge because they didn't have the money or the time to continue schooling. And those who have gone through massage school knows, I'm like, it's not an easy profession to start in because you're not making a lot. A lot of the people who are in massage school who are able to kind of make it work are either younger, like students who live at home, or we're transitioning into a second career and they happen to have unemployment coming in or another source of income coming in. And sometimes that isn't everyone's story. And so, I would tell students, I'm like, you have to plan to kind of still be learning as you're starting. And you can't expect that our trade is like some of the other trades that you see, like a mechanic, where it's like, cool, I can just go wherever and just be a mechanic. And this is what I get paid. And I can plan my lifestyle around that. A lot of the issues with our profession is that there's too much gray area when it comes to employment status. And so even myself, when I was hiring massage therapists, it was a huge learning curve about how I was a massage therapist employee versus how I'm an employer, because I want to do everything right with integrity. I want to set our therapists up for success. And so I don't want to have to pay you in a way that's one, illegal, or two, was illegal and I had no idea it was illegal, because that's just how it's been done for so long, right? And so it's hard to get paid per session only. Or if you get paid a really low base salary plus a really low commission rate per session. You have to understand that whether in our profession, whether you are an employee, an independent contractor, or you're self-employed, you have to put time, effort, and energy into building your own personal brand, because whether you want to or not, you are a business. You are a business the second you say you're a massage therapist, period. So you have to learn these things. And the sooner you wrap your head around that and the more humble you are, the faster the success will come. Because for some reason, a lot of the students I was running into would come out of massage school with this huge chip on their shoulder. And I didn't know where that was coming from, because I was like, you don't know That's what I want. You don't know and so you think you know a lot because you went through this faux environment of a clinic, if your school even provided that. And I was like, how you give and receive massage is nothing like the clinic, which leads into the second thing I would tell all students, which I'm like, you have to get more massage. You can't be a massage therapist and you're not receiving massage. And I don't just mean from your favorite classmate or whoever's local that you guys can do a trade. You need to, one, go out there, pay full price for massage from different types of massage therapists. There's no other way around it. You're not going to know who you are as a therapist, what your style is, until you get exposed to other things that wasn't just spoon fed to you at school.
Sure. That's wonderful advice. One of those that I'm guilty of it. I need to get on the table a lot more. I feel like a lot of massage therapists are kind of in that boat, but it's, so everybody go get more massage. That's that's our great takeaway.
The world, can you imagine if massage was deemed essential and we had nothing but competent massage therapists? How much better the world would be right now if everyone got a massage. Like, I don't think we would have road rage. I don't think people would be pissed off waiting in line. I think it would be a much better world if we got massage. And so we have to practice what we preach. You know the body better than you give yourself credit for it. And so don't turn the advice that you would give to a client away from yourself. You need more body work. You need to get more body work. And I would encourage people to try all different kinds of modalities, because you'll be surprised of the things that you like or don't like, or things that you had, some biases against, that you're like, oh, actually that was, that's legit. That was pretty good.
Yeah. And that tends to lead me into a question of CEUs and, continuing ed. There's something, I guess we could go two ways. One is, was there a really surprising CEU for you? Because you've talked about clinical and sport. Was there anything that you'd put way out there that you've just been like, wow, that was amazing class, and it's not my jam, but I got a lot out of it?
I don't think I've necessarily taken a course where I was just like, that was a complete waste of time.
Well, it's not a waste of time. It was a learning opportunity.
Yeah, maybe didn't come away with as much as I thought I would, but I was also not into racking up CEUs, partly because it wasn't a requirement for me to stay with my professional association that I was with at the time, or to stay certified with the state. And I'm kind of glad it didn't, for me personally, because I see how the CEUs became an issue, because some of the CEUs that were out there, I was like, they just letting anybody put a course out, because it makes no sense. And then when I was thinking about putting out a course, I realized, I was like, the barrier for entry didn't make any sense, where, I'm like, so I can't put out, or I can't be considered a CEU provider, but my employee could, simply because my employee has a BA degree in performing arts, or whatever it is, you know? And so I was like, that didn't make any sense. But I understand there's a lot of things that don't have to do with touch itself. Maybe it's more energy focused, where it's like, yeah, it counts for something, but like, what is the goal here, right? Mm-hmm. To me, the goal is you want to expand your knowledge, you want to expand your skill set, you want to be able to understand the body from different points of view, so that when you're explaining to your clients what's happening, you have a more well-rounded understanding of what's going on and how this relates to the work that you do. And so I would always try to go after um, some CEUs that were more in theory. So when I first started, I took like CEUs and like myofascial work, cupping, trigger point therapy, orthopedic, sports stuff. But really, that those types of CEUs, those types of certifications, were really just to kind of support my ego, right? Just to justify that I can do sports massage because this paper says I could do sports massage, even though I was doing sports massage before I had the paper, right? And I'm like,
Yeah.
right?
Some of that too is like definitely it does bolster the ego because I got stuff all around the room and whatnot. Here's this paper, but
Yeah,
I do think of it sometimes as a marketing thing because some folks who don't know, therapist A from therapist B, it's like, well, this one's got a bunch of paperwork, so let's give it a whirl. Versus,
right,
because I've had people
right.
come in, they're like, I saw this certification, so I wanted to come experience it. And so for me, it's in some ways it's a marketing idea. But you're
It can
right,
be.
like yeah,
It might as well be, right? You paid for the thing. You might as well
yeah,
take some
yeah,
pictures of it, hang it up. Me personally, like I have no sort of, aside from my massage certificate from the city and county and my certificate from the state, my business license, like there's nothing else on the walls that would tell you all the things I took.
sure,
I am pretty much, I built my business on um, really diving deep with my clientele and really focusing on retention than acquisition all the time. And once I got through a lot of the ego stuff, once you kind of get clear on what the hell's the point? Like, what is it that I want to do? When you get clear on that, that's what kind of helps you um, walk a straighter, stronger, faster path, because now you'll see distractions as distractions. Around that time when I was on Shantae's podcast, the Moving with the Maestro podcast, we had also talked about at one point I was entertaining the thought of, maybe going back to school for physical therapy, maybe getting a personal training certification. And then I had to be like, why? Why do I want these things exactly? And what is my ultimate goal? Because my ultimate goal was to grow a bigger organization, a bigger business that helps elevate and uplift massage therapy. And I was like, so does me being a PT support that? No. Does me being a personal trainer support that? No, because I'm already booked. I'm already at max capacity. Like, how many more people I can help them more? But that's why I brought in a physical therapist, because this person has the 10, 20 plus years experience in this space, as opposed to me and my 6 week certification that I got over COVID. You know what I mean? And so, and so once I kind of got clearer on that, when I started taking courses based on theory around things that made sense to me and I just kind of wanted deeper knowledge of, that's when my whole world opened up. And that, for me, the first course was, it was the first course I flew out of town for. I had to like get a hotel room for. I had to dish out a bunch of dough for. That was with Mild Detox in Toronto.
okay,
That was the first time. And the reason why I went with them too was not only because of, their philosophy behind, how they care for their clients and their patients, was because it was the first time I saw what it is I initially wanted to build in front of me. I had never seen it before. I'd never seen a multidisciplinary clinic that works as a multidisciplinary clinic where you don't know the difference. Like if this person's a RMT or if they were a chiropractor or if they're acupuncturist, because they're all treating the people the same kind of way. And, I also like seeing that they were younger, that they were much more diverse, that they're playing the new Drake in the clinic, or, like I was like, to see it, to know it's possible, but to see it and to be in it. And then to really see like, who is the CEO, who's the director of education, and like, why is it that person and how do they approach it? I just loved everything about their culture and environment that they created. And it just kind of, shows you, when you see yourself, representation is big. And when you see yourself, you kind of see what else is possible. And so that was the first time where I was like, everything makes sense. And everything, when I was talking about earlier about how, working one part of your body and how it correlates to the other, and my understanding of it being based on repetitively seeing the same things over and over and seeing the commonalities, and then having someone else with a PT, a chiropractic background, just bring it all together for me. I was like, that's why. That makes so much sense. And then from there, it just gave me the confidence that I was initially looking for and all these other certifications that tells me, I'm like, yes, you do know enough. Yes, you are worthy. You know, yes, you can help a lot of people with what you know, because what you know is enough. It's more than enough. And I was unstoppable after that. Yeah. Unstoppable. Yeah. After that experience is when I started hitting six figures.
Nice. Yeah. I was gonna say that last kind of sentiment you had there with what you know is enough. Like, and that should resonate. That should hit people pretty good. You know enough to, as a massage therapist, to run a great business. It's great to be hungry. It's especially, you know, around wanting to know more and being, like I said, just wanting to get deeper into subjects, and that's okay. And like, it's kind of that Dunning-Kruger effect. The less you know, the more you will comment and go about things. And like, why didn't they just do this? I'm like, you know nothing, Jon Snow. Like, that's not how it works. But like I said, being hungry is great. But yeah, guys, you know enough already. Like, it's, you do. It's okay to be hungry. It's okay to dive deeper and pursue. But yeah, the potential's already there. So
yeah, with what you know, hit the pavement. You got to get the experience. You got to get the bodies on the table and start, you know, applying what you learn. And the reason why I like to reiterate, like, you know, we are enough and that we know enough is because it's another thing that as another common thing that I saw with massage therapists specifically, especially like newer students, and even like not even newer students, just massage therapists actually, where there's this, I guess there's this unspoken hierarchy of where people view or where they perceive themselves as massage therapists on this ladder in healthcare, being way down here, right? And feeling like they need all these other things for the respect, for the accolade, to be taken seriously, to feel like they have a right to say or to speak on certain things. And that's where I was like, you went to school for massage therapy. I was like, I have clients who are CEOs, big business owners, millionaires. And I was like, they don't know what a clavicle is. They don't know what a patella is. They tell you they've been stretching their hamstrings. You say, show me the hamstring stretch. They're stretching their quads. These are things that we specialize in. And even though it seems basic to us, understand it only seems so because you did the work to educate yourself to get to this point. And that means something.
That's huge. And that, where we put ourselves in a hierarchy, I think we, you know, it's kind of a double-edged sword, because I feel there are folks that put themselves too high and then there's others that put themselves too low. And it's like, maybe if we meet at the middle, that we'll be at the table more with our fellow healthcare providers. But it's,
because that's another thing to look at, right? Because it's like, it's not only where do we view ourselves on that ladder, but where do your clients view you on that ladder, right? Because I think I'm like, oh, I'm just a massage therapist. I was like, and I have clients who come to me first before, and a lot of it is because of the connection, because of the relationship, the rapport that I've built with them, the trust that is there, and the fact that because of all of that relationship building, we have a way of communicating with our clients that maybe other practitioners, clinicians don't have. And so they could be saying the same thing, but there's something special about the way I'm saying it to you that you get it. And that's life, right? That's you and your partner, you and your family. Like, I just told you that. Why is it when someone else tells you, you hear them, you don't hear me? Because you're you, and I turn you off a lot. So
that happens so often when you treat partners. Like, partner A comes in, they're on the table and they're like, oh my gosh, my partner's coming later, they're doing this. And then, or they'll come back, you know, after you see the other partner and like, I've been telling him or her for years to, you know, stretch this, and you tell them once and now they're doing it daily. And I'm like, I'm not their partner. I'm a professional. So it's, I've got that
my fiance knows if we have another massage therapist that's working at Body Realm Center, that is that's the therapist you need to see, not me, because you're my worst client.
Oh, yes.
I said, you don't do anything I tell you to do. Nothing is enough. I said, but you go see someone else like, oh, so-and-so told me. I was like, yeah, I've been telling you that. But that's just how it is, right? And so that's where it goes, where it's like, you know, you being you is a very unique position, and you have something, something, there's a way about you that this client or that client needs from you that they cannot get from anybody else. And so not showcasing your knowledge, not explaining things in your own unique way, not connecting is the disservice.
Of course. Yeah, absolutely. That's I mean, one of the things that I've gotten advice wise as a non, you're not going to find a massage continuing ed that's going to be labeled this, but it's like, clinical communication or just communication skills in general. It was advice I actually got from a strength coach. And Brett Bartholomew, he's got Art of Coaching is his book. It's great. He's got all the pieces of paper for strength and conditioning, this and that and whatnot. But he's like, when he wrote his book, everyone's like, ooh, I wonder what techniques are in there. He's like, I'm showing you what I spent half of my education on, and that was communication. How to talk to people, how to identify personality types, maybe the best way to interact. And he breaks down almost like a Myers-Briggs type of way to like that. But his whole thing is like, you got to know how to talk and how to communicate with people, not at them, but communicate with them. And that's an area I've been trying to build up in my skill set. Is there anything along that lines that's not labeled a traditional massage skill or continuing ed that you found beneficial for your career?
Yeah, I mean, gosh, I've done a lot. I've been a lot of places. I've lived a lot of places. And I got to say, it's a life skill that once you kind of learn, you take into everything. And I think I initially learned it when, back in the 90s and early 2000s, it wasn't Gary Vee. It was Robert Kiyosaki. That was our dude. And so I got a sales job because of him. And I hated it. It was outside sales at that. So I was like, you got me walking up and down these streets in this polyester suit. And, I said, I'm like, people probably think, is this the hostro or something? Because, here I was with my portfolio. And I remember the goal was you had to sell like 10 of these packages. We were selling packages for all random, like car maintenance services and like, spa or manicure services. Like we're pretty much we're doing marketing for local businesses. And so we had to sell 10 of these a day. And so the next week I was like, I hate this so much. I just need to succeed and I'm out. You not, the next day I sold 10 and I was like, I quit, send me my check. But I learned so much in that week. I probably should have stayed, to hash it out. But ever since then, I was always interested in selling. I was always interested in communication styles with people. And I can't say like I've mastered a whole bunch of one particular style, but I've definitely found a way to be comfortable in communicating and to talking to people in my own style, in my own way, being authentic and not feeling like I had to be or play this role of professional massage therapist. Like that's kind of what I got. Like when we were in school, it's like, this is how you talk to your therapist, or this is how you talk to your client. You're going to ask them about these things. You're going to, set them up in the room this way. And all that's great. You need to have this foundation, but you kind of have to have a foundation to kind of know where you can kind of smooth the edges out and when you can kind of cut these corners. And so for me, it was really just once I started getting into the flow of things and I started noticing, I'm like, oh, I'm getting a certain vibe of clients, right? Because I'm focusing on just having my clients bring in other clients, expanding my network through their network, their friends, their families, their coworkers, their other, clinicians that they see. That's who I'm seeing. And so there's a vibe. There's definitely a culture that's there. So I can be me without trying so hard. And I don't feel like I have to code switch so much to be understood because I found my people or my people found me. And so once you kind of get comfortable with letting go of the idea of how you think you're supposed to sound, how you think you're supposed to talk to people and stop worrying about how you're being perceived and more so just like, am I conveying this in a way that even I understand? I think a lot of the walls fall down and you just get into this natural flow. And you also start gaining confidence as you start gaining and building your clientele that you can start, turning people away. You can start, putting up this red velvet rope of entry.
Thank you for joining us, folks. The mission of Massage Tools Podcast is to inspire. So help us inspire you, ask questions, leave suggestions in the comments section. Give us a like if you enjoyed the video. And if you want to see more content, please click that subscribe button, turn on your notifications, and hey, check out these links for other videos here.